Hi, so I wanted to make a video on how to assemble and paint these shiplap Christmas ornaments, and they do come with 3 different kinds of words. So they come with joy, Noel, and Merry, and these do come with different versions for the background. This is the one where they come apart. I'm just going to go ahead and show you. So they do come with a version where they all come apart and they piece together, so you can paint each piece different colors. There is this other layer where they're scored. You can just use that layer if you wanted to, if you didn't want to do that second layer. But I wanted to use this one just to show you the other option. And then there's also an option where it's just blank, where you don't have to have the layers with the shiplap and everything. So there are those 3 different options. So I'm going to show you how to do this one. So because this one is the most complicated one, but isn't really too complicated. So I wanted to show you how easy it is to do, but I wanted to show how to do basically all of the options. So I'm going to go ahead and just go take this all apart. And this is how it assembles. I'm going to take these little berries off. And here's the word. There's Mary. And we have our snowflake. I'm going to set that off to the side. And then we have, there's little pieces that still come loose. And then we have our holly sprig. We have this layer here, they're little leaves with berries. And then we have this big piece here. And there's some pieces that fell out there. So we have that big giant piece. And you can arrange it however you want. I didn't attach it this time. So that way you have other options for how you want to assemble it. You can put it over here if you want. You can put it over here if you want. It's really up to you how you want to assemble it. But I did leave like that extra space here, so that way it doesn't obstruct the hole where you want to put your ribbons, or you want to put a bow or some twine, however you want to put it together. So it's really up to you. So I wanted to leave some options this time. So I'm going to go ahead and just move this over to the side. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do something very simple. For this, I have white chalk paint, and I have this really pretty, like a French gray. And I'm going to go ahead and take this all apart. So I do have the scored layer behind here. It just kind of shows you where to put the pieces, just so you know how to assemble it. If you don't want to score the lines, you don't have to. I'm just going to move these little pieces out of the way. You don't have to do that. It's totally up to you. It's just there for you, so you know how to put the pieces on, in case you're taking the pieces off your laser and you're like, oh, which piece goes to which ornament. I'm just going to go ahead and show you. So if you wanted to, you could just paint this one. You can even paint your wood beforehand and then cut, so that those are nice and crisp lines. So that's one option, but I'm just really going to use that for the back layer today, so I'm not going to paint that layer. I'm going to go ahead and remove that and set it off to the side. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to paint these. And I am going to distress these in between with some distress ink, and that's from Tim Holtz. You can get that on Amazon, Michael's, really any craft store has these distress inks, and you can get them in like 3 packs and 4 packs or whatnot. Quite a lot of options for colors too. I like the black because it's the most versatile, and then I use these fun little like finger sponges. I got these on Temu, but you can get them on Amazon or wherever you buy your crafts. I got a whole bag of these for really cheap. I also use them like multiple times before they just finally deteriorate and I have to throw them out. So I just have a brand new one for today. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. And this is just a white chalk paint. And this is from Michael's. It's just the Craft Smart white chalk paint. Nothing exciting. And I was thinking about doing maybe a crackle paint, but I decided I'm just going to go with a basic white for this. But I am going to do them in different shades. So I may start with the white on top. And I'm just going to go ahead and get started. It is starting to get a little chilly outside, so I am inside. So my cat is going to be meowing a lot. So I apologize for my cat meowing in the background. If I didn't put him in the basement, he would be climbing up all over this table right now. He enjoys the attention. So I'm just gonna go ahead and paint this. And you don't have to paint it like I'm doing. You can definitely do this much faster. I just wanted to give you the options of, you know, just trying some different things. So I'm gonna do this one. Actually, I think I might even skip it and do this one here. I might do, change it up a little. I might even mix some colors. I like the white. I like this white chalk paint. This is a really inexpensive white chalk paint. If you happen to shop at Michael's, it's just their Craft Smart. I think it was like $9.99, and then you can use your coupons. If you get those 40% off coupons from Michael's, they're pretty reasonable. You can get that 40% off on top of it. So I'm not sure what the price is now, but when I bought it, it was $9.99, and you get a very large bottle of it. And a little goes a long way. And I like it because you don't need to do like tons of layers. There we are. Just blend that all in. There we go. My kitty really wants to be in here really bad. He's gonna be meowing a lot. All right. He would come up here and knock this whole table over. He loves being around people. So, all right. So that's all there is. I'm gonna do that layer. And you can decide how you wanna do each layer. Just wanna make sure I get those brush strokes nice and smooth. Once you go across, you wanna commit. You don't wanna stop in between. All right, and I think I'm just gonna do it random. I'm not even gonna do this very symmetrical. I think it'd be fun to kind of do things randomly. Because I'm gonna do like some gray in between, just to make it different. Oops, we got a chunk of stuff here. It's the only thing, when the paint starts to get old, it gets a little chunky. All right. A little chunky here. And I got these brushes at Michael's too. These are pretty decent brushes. I got a whole bunch of these. I got them on michaels.com, so I'm not sure if they're available in the store, but I had them shipped right to my store and picked them up there. So they have some pretty cool stuff on their website. All right, so there's that. I think I'm gonna stop there with the white. I don't wanna go too crazy with the white. All right, I'm gonna do some of the gray, and I might just leave the white on my brush and kind of do some combination of the, I'm not even gonna clean that off. I'm gonna add the gray. I'm gonna just dip it right in. And this is just a pretty French gray. This is, this color is French linen, and this is Dixie Belle French linen. So it's just a very subtle gray, because I don't want it to be too crazy. I don't want to take away from the words or anything. There we go. There we are. And there's my gray, because I don't want it to be too crazy. All right, I'm going to do a little bit more on the bottom. And you can pick whatever shades you like. There we go. These are just suggested colors. There we are. And I'm gonna do the same thing up here. Oops, I'm gonna make a mess with this. I'm gonna have to get some, I use a black marker for the edges. I use these black paint markers. I got these kind of paint markers on Amazon, and I use the black just to go around the edges if I get paint on the edges. That way my edges don't look messy. There we go. I just think it looks really clean when you paint the edges. And you can also use black paint. I just think it's a little bit more controlled when you use a paint marker. And they have like really nice paint marker sets on Amazon. And you can get like a 72 pack, 120 pack. They have a lot of options for paint markers. There we go. There we are. And for this one, I'm gonna mix a little bit of the white and the gray just to change things up a little. I'm just gonna mix those colors right here on my paper towel. Here we are. Just to make it a little different. Here we are. Just for some subtle variations. Here we are. I just think it would look kind of cool. All right. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can paint these however you want. There. So there's like some different shades of gray and white. There we are. And you can even like, you know, if you don't like how you have it painted, you can go back, do some things differently, however you want to do it. So there are our shades. There we go. And if you don't like it that way, change it up. I think I'm good. I think I'm happy with that. I think I might even do this one just a little lighter too, just so it kind of blends a little bit. And I think I'm going to dry brush it because I hardly have any paint left on this, and I'm going to dry brush it to kind of create that farmhouse, kind of like those slats. There we go. Here. Nope. Realize I'm off camera. Gotta remember to double check. There we go. There. So there's our back piece. I might even do the same thing again, as I really like that. So happy little things that happen as you go. There we go. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other ornaments in this set. I'm going to do the same thing. And each one's a little bit different. The slats are a little different. All right, there we go. Here, that looks really cool. All right, I'm going to just zoom in so you can see that. There we are. Okay, so now that we have the back layers painted, I'm going to take my Distress ink. Here's my Distress ink. Here we are. I'm going to just kind of grab a little bit of that black, and I'm going to just take these these edges, and I'm just going to rub it along the edges here, just so it creates like that kind of distressed look. So there's that. There's that piece. You can see now it really kind of defines each layer. Keep flipping these over. There we go. I'm just going to go ahead, do the same thing here. And you can actually use gray too if you wanted. So it's a little more subtle, but I wanted to go with the black. Here we are. There we go. Let's scoot that down. And we do the same thing here. A little bit along the edges, just so it creates that really cool distressed look. There we are. Now you can really see those layers really popping. It looks really neat. I'm gonna do the same thing again, just ever so lightly hitting those edges. All right, ooh, I got my fingers were a little dirty on that one, but that's okay. I can just blend that right in. Got some of that ink on my hands. There we go. And there's our next layer. And that's going to be covered up anyways, because that's where the floral layer is going to go. Do the same thing. And you don't have to go like do so much. Like you can be much more simple with these. I'm just showing you some really cool ways to make this. You can be much more simple. You can just do that back layer that's already scored, paint it, and then you're done. This is really just I'm just being a little extra with these if you wanted to see other ways to do it. I just like doing painting, different painting techniques. I just think it's so much fun. I'm going to grab a little bit more because I'm starting to run low. I love these little sponges. These are great. And they're really inexpensive to get a whole bunch. So there's our edges right there. And we have our next layer. And here's our last layer here. And this is the layer you're going to see popping out. Get that middle piece. There we are. There we go. And there's our back of our piece of our ornament. Now, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put this top on, and that's all I'm going to do right now for that. I really like that. So I am going to do this probably in black, just so it pops. So I do have some black chalk paint, and that's that's Folk Art. And you can get these big bottles at Michael's or whatever craft store you like whatever one you like. You can get these at pretty much any craft place or even Amazon. I'm just gonna grab a small brush. You could even paint this with like a little paint marker too. It would be probably a little easier than doing this with a brush. I'm just using a very small brush, and I'm just gonna go ahead and grab some black paint and just go ahead, and it would probably be much easier to do this with a paint marker. All right, but I'm just gonna show you how to do it in case you don't have paint markers. I'm gonna show you how to do this here. All righty. Grab some more paint. So this does come with the 3 words. I happen to like Mary with this particular ornament, but you can put whatever word you want. It's really up to you. If you want to put somebody's name on here, you can do that. But I just wanted to make sure I gave some words with this file. But you put like Merry Christmas, you can put somebody's name, you can put the year, however you want to personalize this. There we go. I just happen to like these. So I liked this font too. I thought it was kind of cute to change things up a little bit. There we go. And grab some more paint. Apologize, I have my Halloween nails, so it doesn't really go with my Christmas theme. I should really have Christmas nails for this, but it is a week away from, not even a week, less than a week to Halloween. So I apologize for the Halloween nails. No, not really a Halloween, but I just thought it'd be kind of fun. All right. Not really thinking about Christmas yet, but lots of good holiday events coming up that these would be fun for. All right. Here we are. Get that last little bit. All right. Make sure I get all the extra stuff. And I did use MDF on this. I try to use MDF when it comes to these really intricate pieces, when they're like really thin. I don't like to use birch on intricate pieces. Unless it's like a nice high-end birch, I try not to use the stuff you get at the hardware store. It's not really meant for lasers when you buy that. It's really meant for, you know, other uses. So they're not really the best because there's a lot of glue voids in that type of wood. And it's also not perfectly 1/8 or 1/4. It's really off. So just always be mindful when buying the stuff at the hardware store. It's not always perfect. So I know people really swear by it because it's inexpensive, but inexpensive doesn't always mean that it's the best. So just be mindful that it doesn't always truly measure a 1/8 or a 1/4. It's usually quite off, especially when you have like something that you have slots and it has to measure like a standard measurement. It's probably not, you're probably going to adjust slots and do some work when you buy that. So I tend to purchase from laser supply companies like Craft Closet or GS2, Smoky Hill. I try to buy my stuff from those places because it is designed for lasers. Okay, so there's my word Mary. I'm gonna let that dry. And now I'm gonna start doing the greenery. And I am going to use this really pretty green. It is English Ivy. It's one of my favorites. It's from Dixie Belle. And we do not have Dixie Belle around where I live. I had to buy this when I was on vacation. So I like this because I like chalk paint when it comes to my ornaments. I just feel like it gives that really cool, it just gives that nice farmhouse vibe when I use chalk paints. But you can use any chalk paints. I just happen to like this brand, but you don't have to. You can use the folk art kind. They have all different kinds of chalk paints out there. You can even use acrylics too. Totally up to you. So I'm just going to go ahead and just paint this whole thing. I'm going to paint this whole layer. And then you're going to start layering over this. It doesn't have to be perfect because you are going to be layering. Let's move this on camera a little better. Oops. I am just flipping these pieces over left and right. All right. So it doesn't have to be perfect. You do you. That's why I like these layered ornaments, because they don't have to be perfect. You can be the messiest painter in the world and it does not matter because you're going to be layering anyways. So, and then what I like to use are the paint markers for the berries and stuff. But I do with the paint markers, but I am going to show you how to use paints too. So you have options. Oops, bumped that. And I just thought it'd be kind of fun to try something new for these. My cat is really wanting to come up here. I apologize for his meowing. He loves being up here. He loves being up on my lap. And if he was up here, I'm telling you, he would be knocking everything over. Okay. You don't have to be, you really don't have to paint this whole thing because a lot of this is going to be layered. Like this area here is where the holly sprig goes. Here we go. So this is just the English Ivy. Probably could use a bigger brush for this, but that's okay. All right. This is a really pretty color. I like this color because it's like such a perfect green for Christmas ornaments. And if you get the paint inside the holes, just go ahead and poke it in there. So you want to make sure you don't leave any paint in there. It just kind of looks a little messy. So just make sure I get all that. Alrighty. And I really don't need to paint the berries because that's going to be layered. Okay. And there's my pine sprig here. Make sure I get enough paint on here. Make sure I get all those edges. Make sure everything's all covered up pretty good. All right. My lighting isn't the best. I just noticed I'm using a ring light on this, but it's still looks like it's pretty dark. I hope that you can see this. It's quite overcast today. Fall is definitely here now. It's been so nice and warm this whole month, and it's finally fall. It's feeling kind of chilly here today. That's why I definitely wanted to be inside. I usually do this out in my garage, but it is quite chilly. So I definitely didn't want to have to turn the heater on out there. All right, there we go. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so that's that layer. And now I can start doing these other layers, but I want to do these in different shades of green. So I do have, this is silk paint. So I have these silk paints. This one's Everglades. And I also have this silk paint too. I have a few shades of green. This one's a really nice one. It's called Midnight Green. And that's silk. I believe this is by Dixie Belle as well. I just like this because it's mineral paint. And it's a nice pretty green. You can see how pretty that green is. And I like to do this one for my my holly sprig because it's a really nice shade. So I'm just going to go over here and grab that. And I'm going to grab some of that green. And I'm just going to paint that. It just kind of differentiates the layers when you do the different shades of green. There we are. And I have another shade of green too. I just thought it'd be kind of nice to pick up some other shades. I don't like to do it all in the same color. There we go. And it's really pretty. And if you're looking for these particular paints, I believe Dixie Belle has a website if you wanted to order any of these. I don't get any type of commission or anything from this. I just try different paints. So if you want to try them, try them. If not, that's okay. I just happen to like them. I saw them on vacation. I am like a paint junkie. I cannot stop buying paints. I love buying paints. I'm obsessed with trying all new brands. So I like folk art. I like Dixie Belle. And I also do like this country chic paint. I've tried that too. There's so many different brands. So I'm not particular with any. There's not one particular brand I'm like obsessed with. I try all the different colors, all the different paints. Okay, so there's my holly sprig, and you can see that's definitely a different shade. You really want to make sure that they're drastically different. That's how I feel. All right, so I have another shade here I'm going to use for this, and I think I'm going to use this dark green for that, and it's called, I already have it open, and it's called Acadia. So I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to use Acadia for this one. And it's a nice dark green. I'm just going to grab another paintbrush. I really like these paintbrushes. These are really nice. I'll grab a small one. Actually, here's a little one here. I have this one here. I'm going to grab some of this Acadia. And you really don't need to be this extra how I'm painting. It's really up to you how you wanna paint these. I mean, you can definitely paint these much faster. And I usually do them all at once. I don't usually do one ornament at a time, but for the sake of this video, I'm just doing a demo so you can see how to do these. So you can do these much faster than I'm doing them. And I'm not painting the whole thing. I'm leaving the berries so that way you can paint those in a different shade, because I don't want my reds and my greens to overlap, because it kind of impacts the the color of the red when you have that green underneath as a base. So there's that. So there's my Acacia, and then that's gonna go over here. So there's another shade. I do have that Everglades color that I think I might use on a different ornament. All right. So also, while I still have, I'm gonna grab another brush for my white, because I do want to paint the snowflake too. While I have that out, I'm just gonna go through and kind of just tap the snowflake. There we go. Just really want to make sure I get all in there. Grab some more white. Grab a little too much. Always, if you want, tap off on your paper towel so that way you don't grab too much paint like I just did. If you grab too much, you can always just take your brush and get in those holes. All right, so there's my snowflake. I had so much fun drawing these snowflakes. And I do all my drawing in Procreate. And I just love how they come out. There's so many that I don't end up using. I play around with different styles and I'm like, I don't think so. So I discard so many snowflakes and then I just save the ones I like the best. All right. I really enjoy drawing a lot of different snowflakes, and I love drawing the florals. They are so much fun to do. So everything I do is all hand drawn in Procreate, and then I send it to the computer and clean it all up. I just think it looks more unique and special when you draw your own artwork rather than, I feel like when I see a lot of files and it's the same clip art, and I just feel like it's not unique. If I see that one bunny with the ear flopped down one more time, it's like after a while you just kind of get tired of seeing the same old clip art. You want to be unique. You want your pieces to stand out. Like when I go to a craft show and I sell my stuff, I want my stuff to stand out differently than other things that's been done before. I'm always trying to create something that's unique and different. All right, so there's my snowflake, and now I'm going to use a nice bright red. All right, I'm gonna grab a really skinny small brush for that red for the berries, and these are the brushes that I found at Michael's. So this is what I got, and they come in all different sizes and shapes. These are really great. I just think they're really nice, and they come with a nice little cap on them so you can keep them nice and pointy. So this one's a brand new one. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this red here. They do have this folk art. It's lipstick red. It's really pretty. So I'm gonna try that for this red. But you can use paint markers too. But for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna use just regular paint. Just so you can see, they're really not hard to paint. So easy peasy. But you can use paint markers if you wanted. There we go. And that's all there is. If you wanted to go all the way down to the stem, that's fine too. I think I'm gonna. All right, I'm gonna grab a little bit more red. And there's our red berry. And you can go all the way down the stem if you want. And do the same thing here. And I'm gonna grab this little guy. Probably should have put more green on there. But I can always grab more green. go. All right. And I have my green paint brush here for the Acadia. I take a little bit of that paint off and then just kind of touch up any spots that I might have missed. Or if I messed up on any spots, I can always touch it back up. Easy peasy. So there's my little sprig here of leaves and berries. And now I'm gonna paint this last part and then this one will be done. We'll just put it all together. So we'll just go ahead and, we don't have to be that neat on this one, as long as you don't get it all over the sides. So there's our berries. And then I am gonna just put this together and show you how it goes back together. And then I'll show you the other options for the other 2 ornaments that come with this, so you can see how they assemble. I'm not gonna paint those other ones on camera. I just wanted to do one so you can see how to paint them. If I show you, it's just kind of reinventing the same thing I'm doing on this. So I'm not gonna hold you up any longer to show you how to paint all 3 of them, because it's gonna be the same thing I'm doing on this. All right, so, but I will show you how they assemble. So that's all there is. Okay, so there's our little berries. And if you want, you can also use that black again, if you want to like kind of create a shadow for the holly sprig. You can just take this and just go along the edges again like we did before. Here it is. And create that shading. There we have that. You can see the shading on the edges. And I'm just running that right along the sides. And it kind of creates kind of like a 3D effect. And it will set it apart from the layer below. And if you want, you can do that on all of them. Really, you can do that on here too if you wanted to. If you wanted to kind of hit those edges, you totally can. Just for fun. You can even take like your white and just dry brush some snow on there if you wanted. So that's totally up to you how you want to do that. So that's all there really is to doing that. All right. I'm just gonna blend that on here. All right, so I'm just gonna show you. I'm not gonna pick all these pieces back up. You can put this right on top of that other layer, but since I already have it all put together, I'm just gonna leave it on the table like that. So you're gonna put this whole thing on that blank layer. And then we're going to take our holly sprig and you're just going to line it up just like that. And make sure it's all lined up perfectly. You're going to take your berries here and you can paint those other ones there. I'm just kind of giving you an idea how this goes together. Take this piece here and that fits together right here like that. If I could get my nails to work today, like that. And you can paint those other berries in the background. So that's that. And then you have your snowflake. Oops, my gosh, my hands. Ugh, I'm like Butterfingers today. Well, you got the idea. And then we take this piece and put it on top. And then I'm gonna grab my word Mary. And then I'm going to put that right on top. And you can move this around how you want it. You can turn it. And then you can put that word Mary right on there. So that's all there really is to making these ornaments. And I'm definitely going to come back and hit those little berries in the background with my paint marker. So that's all there is. that's all you have to do with this ornament. It's really cute. I'm really excited to finish up the other ones. I'm gonna go ahead and move this out of the way so you can see the other ornaments that I have. Move this. There we go. And I have the Noel and Joy ornaments. So here we are. Here's the Noel one. And I'm going to go ahead and just take some of these pieces off so you can see. So there are these lovely little berries here, and they just slide right in there. You can see that little notch at the bottom one here. I'm going to take that off. And there's this one here that does not have a notch in the berry. That one goes on the top. And that just fits right there. And put that one back on here. And that little notch goes right into that part of the holly sprig. And then that whole piece comes right off. And then this one has pretty uniform slats for the farmhouse look. And it's the same thing again. You just put those right on top. Easy peasy. And you can paint it just like I did on the other one. I'm probably going to do the white and gray again, just like I did before. And you really don't have to put it on the side like I did it. You can like turn it however way you want to do it. And then we have our snowflake that goes on top. And I'm going to show you the other one that I have that says Joy. And like I said, you do not have to put the words on the way I have them. You can put them on however you want. Put different words on if you want. It's really up to you how you want to style these. So here's Joy. And this one's a little bit more complicated, but not really. This one just has more going on. So I'm going to show you how this goes together. I'm going to take off the snowflake. And this piece here fits right in here, as you can see. So this one and this one all kind of like butt together, and it just puzzles. So this piece goes right in there. So make sure that you put the correct holly sprig with the correct floral, because they do fit perfectly together. So if you put the wrong one, they're not going to fit together right. And then we have these little berries here, and that just fits right on top. And then this whole piece comes right off. This one has more slats, so just be mindful that one has extra layers. And so those just fit together here. And then we put our snowflake on. And then that's all there is for that one. You can, like I said, you can put the florals on however you want them on. So you don't have to put them on the way I do it. So I just thought they looked aesthetically pleasing like that, but it's however you want to do it. I mean, I'm sure there are other ways that probably look better than the way I did it. So make it your own. I'd love to see how you do it. Please feel free to comment and, reach out and message me some of your pictures. I would love to see it. All right. Well, thanks a lot for joining, and happy crafting. And I also have a Facebook group if you'd like to see upcoming like sales that I'm doing, or any fun things that like giveaways or whatnot. I do have some free files available in my group if you'd like to join. It's just Winetopia Laser Crafters. You can check that out. And all right, well, happy making ornaments. Happy holiday crafting season. Bye.